there's an extra cognitive load, whether it's talked about or not talked about. And there's already so many things that us as parents have to think about, from getting to bed on time and eating and you know, being here or there, or making choices between different things. And so then to have another structural component added onto it, like cost, and be able to remove that completely, I think just it creates a safer space. You reduce the cognitive load, you reduce friction completely. It's like, okay, now we just got to think about what's the best thing to do, 100%. We don't have to think about any other incentives on that front at all. And it's very freeing. For sure, growing up, there were times I could not go do it because it was not in the finances. And we weren't going to ask for help. That was the last thing that we were going to do. And it translates down for sure, right? I mean, if it's on a parent's mind, it's on a kid's mind. Like, you can't not translate that down into the next level. And but when it's not there, it's also not down with the youth athlete. And so I think you end up removing that from both of them. But you get the same warm-ups, the same jersey, you're all at the same spot, you get the same opportunity as everybody else no matter what. It just makes it such a fantastic, like, level playing field. You get rid of the transaction that is so much a part of everything in our life, right? But you get a spot where we can actually remove that and make it better.
What YTF is doing for these kids, I just can't even, it like tugs at my heart, because I look back at like my childhood and like my mom not being able to afford me to do like club track. And then these kids have this opportunity to go to the Armory and travel around and to have these really awesome opportunities to run and to have, to build these relationships. I mean, it is just, if you run them into the ground, not only will they physically break down, but mentally they will lose that passion, that love for the sport. And you see that so often because kids already put a lot of pressure on themselves. And then when they have that outside pressure from like parents or peers or coaches who are like trying to live out their dreams through these kids, it's really sad. And what I love is Justin, Tom, the coaches, they have nothing to prove for themselves. They are doing it for the love of the kids and for the kids to see what they can become. And I think that is why the kids are looking the way that they do right now, happy, excited, and healthy. It's huge. I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, yeah, I would love to be a part of Youth Track Foundation.
For Justin to put his heart of everything that he has built up and him wanting to truly give back by forming this team, I wholeheartedly believe in it. When Tom came on as a coach, I thought he is going to give that element that all these other kids were missing. You give him 10 seconds and he will take that child from feeling nervous and uptight to feeling confident and motivated. And Dan, he is the integrity standard. He's got a heart of gold. Everyone really brings something very unique to it.
All the coaches have special abilities that they have really poured their hearts into. And it's really built into this situation of working with the athletes in their other sports and becoming good runners, and then just involved in the indoor track season. And I really have enjoyed seeing that progress.
So what we're trying to do is trying to stay consistent and work into a rhythm. When you get into a really good race, you get into a really good rhythm, and they just go hand in hand. So what we're trying to do here is make you better athletes, make you more coordinated, make you work in the same way with your left side and your right side. All right, we're done. Let's grab some water and we can head upstairs and get started.
In the first practice, thought we might have 2 or 3 coaches. We ended up with about 6 coaches, all there to help with about 20 kids. You know, we had Pilates instructor, we had an ex-personal trainer, we got like great talent that just has come in and wanted to be a part of this. And that's, yeah, there's been so much stewardship as a part of this. From when they started doing it, there was a lot of explanation, there was a lot of clunkiness. It was, you know, challenged, brand new movements that people had never done before. And then now 6 weeks later, coaches looked at each other at one point and were like, there's not a lot for us to do right now. I'm like, I mean, they had it down. They're teaching each other. They're working with each other. It's the flow that they've been able to get into out there has been fantastic. So the progression in just 6 weeks, becoming second nature for them to do these exercises that are really impactful and about athleticism too, not just running.
I think at this point, a lot of the kids, it's like learning body awareness and like how like they're growing, and you know, and also like they're getting stronger, they're lifting some of these kids for the first time ever and doing some of the things that they've never done before, but seeing this confidence in them. That is what I love when I come to these practices and seeing these kids step onto the track or in the weight room, and they're not only like, some of these things aren't that fun, right? Like some of these exercises or some of these workouts are just like so grueling and not fun, and they're out here laughing, having fun, excited to challenge themselves, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and a lot of new things. It's been really cool to see.
The kids, you know, all had just such a great time together on that bus. You know, we showed up in Seattle, and we arrived at the hotel, and it was almost immediately time to go lights out for the kids so that they get up early. And they all did it without, I mean, we didn't even have to say anything. Like, we didn't even have a team meeting, hey, get to bed at 9:30. Like, they went to bed and they just shut it down. They knew what they had going on the next day. They all had and shared in a responsibility of doing the right thing for their teammates. They didn't want to let anybody else down by goofing off. That just shows a level of maturity and responsibility that the athletes have taken on for themselves. And I think that speaks volumes of the parents as well, that the parents have instilled this a discipline and a sense of community to your teammate as well.
You know, this winter period is unique in a sense that what we were hoping to do was to make it look totally different from their running experiences that they've had throughout the rest of the year, throughout their cross-country seasons, throughout their track seasons, throughout their summer training, to making them more of an athlete and not just a one-dimensional runner. Staying off the track for the most part, other than races. We're racing on the track, obviously, but staying away from the track so that when they do come back into track mode in the springtime, they're refreshed. Even though they're still running and they're going to be doing running work, it feels different. It's a different environment. So the goal is to go have these experiences and make it, and again, it's something they're not experiencing. None of them have ever stepped foot on an indoor track. Organically, races tend to become a stressful environment. It can be a stressful, emotional day for them, but they can also be a big growth opportunity for them.
The indoor track, it's kind of hard to breathe in there, so it was really helpful when they told us about that. It helped us do better in our race because we didn't know what to expect there.
One of my favorite parts from the meet was just like hanging out like before the race, because we would all do our hair together and then we would like get snacks, and it was just really fun. The meets were like pretty big. There's a lot of people from a lot of different places there.
They didn't hear the normal pre-race conversations that I think we tend to give. It was giving them permission to just go out and enjoy the opportunity. Don't get wrapped up in the results of their time, and the finish will come when you enjoy the process.
Something about doing hard things, you know, each week, week after week, the kids start telling me how much shorter the hill is getting. Well, the hill's not getting shorter, you're getting stronger. So that preparation, that it's not just the physical preparation, but the mental preparation. Yeah, you can go and climb this hill for 10, 12, 15 minutes. You can go do an hour run, steady, up and down all sorts of different hills and paths and trails. And when you get out to a race and it's 5 minutes long, you know, you've done something so much harder already to prepare yourself for it. Yeah, that's been a fantastic part of the preparation. Most of them know they're running half the time. I think that they just think, hey, we're getting up, we're gonna have some breakfast, we're gonna go out and see our friends, and oh, did we go run for an hour and 15 minutes today? Yeah, you did. Yeah, in the long run preparation is really special. Like, you know, most of them have all been forest runs so far this year. One of the kids on the run today, he was saying, like, there's something really fun about these forest runs. I love running in the forest. And I tried to ask him what it was. I'm like, what do you think it is? And he's like, I don't know. He doesn't know. And it doesn't have to be named, but it is. It's a special feeling out there in the forest. I mean, I think Forest Park's like the largest park within any city limits in the United States, right? Bigger than Central Park. And yeah, that's what a gift to be able to have access to that.
The forest runs, I find it like more relaxing because you're just out there running.
Oh, the trails. The trails are really fun. We always do like long runs in the forest, so it really helps with like endurance.
I really like just the being outside and like being with my friends. I always feel like I'm getting better every single time.
Oh, that's been really fun. Yeah, to get involved in the practices, help with the trainings, and feel like you're part of the team too. So I find that I'm getting in better running shape. So they're not just coming home and telling us about it, we're actually there and part of it. And it's been so much fun and getting to know the other parents and coaches that much better.
You know, when we gather on a Saturday run, for example, the parents are all hanging out with each other. The kids see that and they say, okay, this is a safe place for me to be. And then the kids start hanging out with each other and that translates then. So then you now have what is typically seen as an individual sport becoming a team sport. That creates a sense of community amongst the parents. It creates a sense of community amongst the athletes. It's a pretty fun social experiment to see.
In the individual versus the group, I think we spent a lot of time as a group coming together, and the individualness comes with just being present in their training, in their lives, in their racing, and just being able to answer and help them guide through specific questions. Some have questions about their footwear. Some have questions about a little injury. Some have questions about fatigue level from another sport or from getting sick that week. And so true coaching comes from getting to know the athlete and what's going on holistically within their life, right? And not just what they're doing for training that day, but are they healthy? Are they sleeping well? Are they eating well? What's going on in school? What's going on with their friends, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their family situation? And we've all been teenagers at one time, and that takes an emotional impact on you. So understanding that and being able to not necessarily be the expert in any of those areas with the athlete, but to understand that, hey, it could be impacting them physically or emotionally, and just recognizing and adjusting the workload or the training or the thought process and going into the race accordingly. I've been a part of sporting communities where, you kind of kept some of those alternative sports quiet because you didn't want the coach to know that you were going to play a different sport that afternoon, or you just came off another sport the night before, or you had a sleepover. And I think what we've been trying to do is create an open community. Say, the hope is that you are playing those other sports and you are doing those other things and you are staying up late and having fun with your friends. And having that conversation allows us to just help manage this experience to optimize it for you.
I look at Tom, I look at Justin, and I'm like, these kids are in such great hands. Like, they take the approach of like, you know what, we can always go to plan B or plan C. Kids come to practice and they're upset about something happening in their life or at school because they're kids and they're going through things. Tom and Justin are like, okay, cool, you know what, we're gonna do this instead, because your central nervous system is a little tapped and you're going through some things. So in the long run, that's why a lot of these kids at this time of the season aren't burnt out. Think about outside of track again, like I say about your character, of taking the initiative to do things. I mean, man, that's gonna take you so far in life outside of anything track related.
You guys wanna talk about the race tomorrow? Actually, the one on Saturday, Sunday. Still got a couple days.
Everyone should know what flight they're on Saturday. We got a couple early flighters, and then most of you are mid-morning flighters. 10:30 flight. It'll be a fun journey up to Spokane Saturday. There's 3 heats for the girls, and there are 3 heats for the boys. Each heat has about 16 to 18 athletes per. But the track's going to look totally different, right? It's 200 meters. It's really short. The turns are banked and they're hydraulic, so they actually move up and down, just gliding through the airport like we're going to be traveling together. So please get there early. Please spend some extra time. We got to be there at 8:30.
Spokane again is going to be, now we're adding the dimension of getting through an airport and getting the kids on the plane, and it's a different experience than traveling on the bus, and so it's about, can the kids get there on time? Can they be, responsible for their luggage? Can they be responsible to get transferred to and from the bus and be, not lag behind? And those are all life lessons for these kids, whether they know it or not. And it's about taking accountability, and that's something that we're teaching with these kids, again, but without the added stress of, gee, you're going to travel all this way, and some sports, they travel, but then they never leave the bench. Here, they're going to perform, and whether, they're the best athlete or not, it doesn't matter. They all get that experience.
The experience of traveling with a team is so fun. Outside of the actual competition, everything from ordering food to hanging together to doing the stupid stuff, all that is just fun to do with a group of people you want to be around. So the travel part is creates an experience unto itself. The other piece is like I said, this is a whole new experience this winter. Indoor track is different. So I knew the kids would go in and not understand what the size of the track is and where the splits are, where the 400, the 800, and explaining to them, hey, there's actually lights that flash when you pass the 400 mark and the 800 mark. It's really an odd sized track at UW. And Spokane's gonna be similar. They're actually gonna be on a track that is literally moving, that's on hydraulics, where the turns are coming up and down depending on what event they're gonna run. And it's a really small track. It's gonna be a new experience. It sounds different, it smells different, it feels different. They're gonna finish the race and probably have runner's cough because of the dry air inside. And seeing the expression on these kids when they walked into University of Washington and saw it for the first time, and the expression that I think they're gonna see altogether different at Spokane when they see what indoor track is all about, is probably what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, already super proud of you guys. You guys have done a lot of great stuff this winter. I guarantee you've never been in this great of a spot and this good of an aerobic ability and this much power and strength at this point in the year in dead glory. So, have fun tomorrow.
I feel like being on YTF, everyone's really supportive. That makes everyone feel welcome.
I feel like everyone cheers for everyone, even if it's not your teammate.
It's special because it's open to everyone, and it's like anyone can do anything if they put their mind to it.
My favorite part was that everybody supports each other.
Everyone's nice and the meets are really fun, and it's fun running with all your friends and traveling.
I usually get pretty nervous before the races, but everybody's always like, oh, you got this, good job. And I know that even if I don't do great, nobody cares, and that we're all just gonna have fun, and then it's just a great experience.
The individual side of running is super unique in that it's you versus you so much of the time. Yes, there's team dynamic, but the cool thing is that it's a net positive for everybody. It's not, hey, for you to get more playing time, someone else has to come off the field and come onto the bench, and it's a one-to-one exchange. Everyone can be on the field playing at the same time and competing against themselves, which is a really unique thing for individual sports and for runners. And what we talk all the time about just being better than you were the day before, the year before, the race before, and continuing to prove upon you. And they take that. They know what that means. And yes, they'd like to beat so-and-so and this person and that team, but at the end of the day, when they know they've improved themselves, you see that growth and that growth mindset come out of them in wanting more. Then they want more, right? Once I know I can improve myself, okay, well then where's my limit? Can I keep going after it to keep improving where I was the day before? And it becomes this kind of infinite loop in front of them.
To me, is what's most exciting is that every kid has earned an opportunity to do this, and they get to do it. They get to perform, and they don't just get sent on a trip only to sit on the bench. So for me, that's what's exciting, is to see the plan unfold that we set in motion. You know, really last summer we started talking about it, it's been a lot of fun to work with Justin and with Tom and putting something together.
The part that stands out to me when I think about the New York trip itself was the arrival. It was getting off of the bus and already talking to the kids on the airport and the plane ride and through practices, like, oh, I've never been to New York before. Don't know what it's like. And so for them to get out there, I can picture a few of the kids just like looking up at the buildings, just in awe of how amazing that whole city is.
The meet in New York was like really big. There were a lot of people there. The indoor tracks were like a different experience than running at any other meet because of the big stadium.
I noticed that it was a really big meet and it was really competitive.
It was really chaotic. Like, you would walk up the staircases and there would be like no room to walk because there were just so many people, like so many athletes waiting for their race and stuff.
I saw that they were kind of nervous at the start, but during the race it looked really fun to me. I was looking forward to it because it was kind of bigger, and I just want to be in those cool experiences with older people so I can get faster times. And
Seattle and Spokane was more of like focusing on the race itself, and sure, some people focused on the race for New York, but most people were just like taking in the view and like really like enjoying the experience.
there was one experience that just really also was very moving for me when one of the kids, after they finished their race at the Armory, she was so excited to tell me about her PR that she just got. And she said, I would have never got this if it wasn't for you. Like, and so for me, that was, it's not true. She did the work. She did everything to get there and to get that. But just to hear that she even thought that part of the equation, that somehow other people helped her get to that point. And it's the community of every coach and every parent that made it all happen. So that was fun to see. The smiles, the happiness, the joy when they were there, when they were done, to see the pride they had in themselves. The confidence is what it was, is the confidence in themselves. The blueprint, we designed it to take the science and human physiology of running and the running principles to help create an analogy for the kids so it was easily understandable. We went over it many, many different times and ultimately came up with the race car, which was, okay, talking about fuel efficiency, the capillaries being the fuel lines that deliver, the mitochondria, turning the mitochondria into horsepower or engines. And so you could easily take the concepts of doing an easy run or a long run and have them understand the reason behind why they're doing it and what the impact ultimately will be. Yeah, and there's three of them. We've got the race car, the cake, and then the savings account, which was a real natural one for me. The race car, in that you're building a machine, right? And the body's a machine, but how do you do it? There's process and structure and foundation to it. And then the cake was just a natural, like, okay, this is fun and it perfectly connects. You know, you can't put frosting before you bake the cake. And then the savings account, where these types of workouts are deposits. And everybody understands, you make deposits, you build something up, then you can take some withdrawals. If you only take withdrawals all the time, you're gonna be at a negative balance. So really teaching them there's a time of the year and a season and a phase where we're simply adding and building. Easy runs are deposits. Shorter strides are deposits, things that don't accumulate as much fatigue. And then withdrawals would be like a VO2 max after a race effort is gonna take a withdrawal. I mean, that's where we really want to, if we're gonna spend our good savings, our hard-earned savings, we'd like to spend it on a race.
Unfortunately, I've created a goal for myself that I'll never be able to measure. And that is, my hope for them is that they love to run 25 years from now, when I probably won't be talking with most of them. But my hope is that they are building on an experience that's just gonna be a flywheel and keep building upon itself for years to come. And so to do that, you have an opportunity in these kids' lives right now to teach them the fundamentals of the sport, of the game, but also to give them an environment to grow at their own pace.
My teammates are like so positive and really sweet, and I feel like I wouldn't be like as fast as I am right now, or like as healthy as I am in track right now if they weren't there.
This season of YTF has been really fun. I really like the team aspect of it with all the teammates. It's a really close bond.
I've never actually done club running before, so I was a little nervous that like everyone else would be like way ahead of me. But I think everybody like is just like so evenly spread, and it's just like everyone's so supportive no matter how good you are. And all the coaches, like I've gotten so much better over just like this small part, and it's just really fun.
Favorite part about being on the team is probably like the environment and the people on the team.
The teammates are really supportive, and they always cheer me along. And the coaches, they understand us. They give us strategies to like make us do better in our race. So they care about us all individually and not just as a random group of people.
And we have really good coaches, so they like help me become a better runner and a person, which I really appreciate.
Probably my favorite part was about traveling with the team and getting the cool experiences in indoor tracks, because that's just like an amazing experience that not many people get to have.
My running has like improved a lot, and I went from like really slow to not really slow.
Something that I loved this season was the coaching and mostly the teammates, because they've always been positive.
The coaches, they understand us. They aren't just like on all the time. They understand when we like rest. Yeah, I think other clubs, they do it because like they're getting paid to, but YTF, they do it because like they want to and they believe that it's like making a difference. And these athletes' worlds, they understand that they aren't doing it for the money, they're doing it for like the teammates.
I think the big thing with the stewardship is that, you know, when you remove the cost barrier, that empowers the families now to really go all in. When you don't have a cost for something, you feel a sense of responsibility to help lend a hand. So that was a really important observation that I had. Everybody is willing to lend a hand to the extent that they can.
First and foremost, as YTF coaches, we are parents. And that plays a very important role of what we bring to the athletes on every given day. And that was something that continually seemed to be missing where we were in the past. And that means you show up for those kids, that you care about how their day was, not just what their time is. The kid at the front matters just as much as the kid at the back. It takes into their other sports, it takes into their schools, it takes into every other element of their life. A kid that was nervous to go to a high school job interview, we talked about like how it feels at the starting line and what that looks like, and it's very similar. What do you do in those moments? You believe that you're enough right here, right now.
I'm seeing them think in a different way. I'm seeing them think in a longer trajectory that I haven't seen before. They're thinking about a longer time frame. They're going from like this tiny view of 10 feet away from the next event or the next thing in their life to the bigger picture. And I think that that brings kind of a sense of relief and some freedom for them to kind of see that they have an impact over their own personal trajectory and where they're heading. And so if kids or humans or adults are insecure, that doesn't happen. Everyone's concerned about themselves and where they stand within the circle and where they're at. And none of these kids act that way. None of these athletes feel that way. And so to have a group where you're learning this like pack mentality, where you're rolling down Saltzman Trail together or Wildwood Trail, and you're in this line of like 25, 35 people, you feel connected. A lot of the boring part is over. We've just spent a long period of time getting it all laid out, whether it's the engine or the cake analogy. We've got those things in place, and it's still a build and a process, which is fun, but they're enjoying the process. But there wasn't a race this year that wasn't fun, but now everybody's excited about, you know, their relay coming up that they get to do with their team, or the 4x4, the 4x8. A lot to be grateful for. I didn't think that we would be in this position 10 weeks after we got this started. It's been one of the most meaningful things I feel like that I've been able to be a part of, and feels like we're doing something important, you know? Feels like we're doing something really important for them. And so for me, it brings me immense joy, it brings me a tremendous amount of joy and happiness, which hence the emotion from that is, that's what that is. That's like this, it's like the best feeling in the world to help somebody else.